Welcome to Business Doctor. Today we'll be discussing about problems and the problem solving techniques. So first let's try to define what a problem is. As you may recall, in the second cardinal rule we discussed about whose problem is this anyway. Like I want to become an artist, or I want to become a tennis player, I want to become an engineer, or I want to become a chartered accountant or a doctor. So that's the problem statement at the highest level. If you break down, we discussed about task and subtask in the earlier video. So to assign a task, you should also say this is what you expect in return back from the person. So what happens is that the person who is receiving this information or the task, he or she needs to understand what you are trying to solve. So for that, you need to state this is what it is required. The problem per se can be manifested in different forms. It could be a requirement, or if you are talking about a product implementation in an IT field, it could be a fit gap, which is like the gaps or the problems, for example. Or I want to be someone, but I am not today. So always the gap between what is needed and where I am at or what I am at, that could be a definition of a problem statement. So if you are able to put that statement in whatever language you feel like, at least in the mind, if that is clear, like my problem statement is I want to do this, but it is not happening. So as long as you are able to put that statement, the part of the problem is resolved. The solution always rather lie in the problem statement itself. So if you are able to put the problem statement exactly as you feel like or as you think like or as it is, which means I am expecting this, but it is happening like this. That statement, if you are able to put it in a word, in a way we can understand, then the most likely the solution per se would also be lying in that statement itself. So now let's try to find out the various approaches in solving the problem. Whatever is the approach, the one important thing the person needs to have in mind, or you need to have it in mind, is that there should not be any motive or bias or preconceived notions or answers in getting the solution or the answers. So when you approach the problem, the first and foremost is that the person should not have any bias. Person should not have any preconceived notion about what that problem means or ideates or you visualize. Okay. So first you should have an unbiased view of the problem statement. Then you should have a sense of feeling that you need to solve the problem. Okay, unless otherwise you solve the problem in full, with the full heart, the problem might reoccur at different points in time in different manifestations. So one of the thing is that the person should approach the problem wholeheartedly without being biased or tentative or hesitantly. You should not approach the problem hesitantly. Okay, you should have all the josh, wherewithal and the feel to solve the problem. And also you should not set the direction to the problem like this is how it is likely to go or likely to proceed, or setting a kind of bias, okay, before analyzing the problem will not give you the correct solution. So independent of the solution, independent of the person, independent of the place, independent of a lot of other things. The problem has to be approached in its isolation. And just because no, you got a problem, or there is a pain or a pleasure or something, a kind of reaction, don't try to solve just for the sake of solving it. Okay, always this is a gap. Okay, so in this gap, the tendency will be to apply my own wish or my own idea or desire or the way I want or I wish no this solution should be, which might be not which might not be a reality, which might be just a wish list. So don't try to push or give an opinion on the problem without actually solving the problem. Then there are other techniques like finding the cause or the root cause. So we have to go deep into the cause of the problem so that we don't solve the symptoms. If you look at in healthcare, the cause and the symptoms, or the problems and the symptoms. So symptoms may be appearing somewhere, but the cause of the problem is somewhere else. This may be true in other fields as well, or in other situations as well. So don't try to solve the symptoms, try to solve the actual problem. So it needs to be investigated. So there should be a method in investigating the cause of the problem. Try to eliminate. Maybe if you are sound enough, there is a possibility that you can have a hypothesis testing to prove that this is the cause of the problem, and if you do this, the problem occurs. If you don't do this, the problem is solved. So like that, you can have a confidence interval, which you would have read in statistics. Don't react to a problem or don't try to defend a problem. Okay, if there is a problem, if that needs to be solved, irrespective of whether you are working in a team or working in a superior junior relationship, or you are working as an independent or working with friends, don't try to defend the problem, then you will not get the actual solution. Sometimes the problem solving might involve discussing with a few others, but if you are trying to influence the set the direction of the solution, then it won't be a real solution for that problem. And while doing that, one of the things which every person should have is that the person should have a patience. Okay, patience is not just like, okay, I close the system today or I close my work and I'll read it tomorrow. That is not the patience. Patience is not in terms of wastage of time. Patience is actually the other way. It is actually critically observing every aspect of that problem, the problem related things. While you are observing, your mind should be working intelligently enough to observe, note down, comprehend, and help you to arrive at this solution. That is actually the meaning of patience. There is a philosopher by name Jittu Krishnamurti, JK. He had a lot of videos on how to approach with patience. Maybe that might be of help to you. Okay, you can have a video view of JK. Having said all these things, we'll discuss about a few tools or techniques which people use, like the cause and effect analysis. Okay, this is the cause, this is the result. So what are the causes for the main problem or the sub problem? Then it will narrow down to all the causes and whatever is the effect. And based on the solution, based on the problem, you can find out whether it's all leading to the right solution. The other classification is like a Pareto analysis, because one problem might have multiple causes, and probably if we try to solve one cause, that might solve a few set of sub problems, which is also a possibility. So try to do like a cause and effect or Pareto analysis or any which way you feel like. Okay, what you need to be careful is that when you are doing that, suppose you are searching Google for example to find a solution to some of the things, you should know how to search. Okay, so that intelligence is absolutely required, so that you give a right input and the search output gives you the possibly the right set of solutions or right possible solutions. Okay, so when you are doing that problem solving, the problem statement has to be exactly clear and without a bias, and with the tools like cause and effect and Pareto analysis or any other such tools, it will be easier to solve the problem. In this video, we saw how to do the problem solving and the various techniques. In the next video, we will try to discuss about the communication and listening, because sometimes what happens is that the problem could be in communication itself. You probably heard something, or you whatever you told to your subordinate, that person also heard something in part. So it is also a possibility that communication itself could be a problem. So that we will discuss in the next video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.